Some experts say new measures in Saskatchewan won't work fast enough to save the healthcare system and that more extreme measures are needed. There are now 262 people with COVID-19 in our hospitals, more than ever before during this pandemic. 54 of those people are in the ICU. The situation is so dire, some adult patients are taking beds at the Jim Pattison Children's Hospital. In recent days, the province has broken records for case numbers and hospitalizations. Premier Scott Moe says new measures will reduce strain on the healthcare system. Mandatory masks have returned, and a proof of vaccination policy is on the way.
I would say that these are quite likely some of the most significant measures that have been put in place by any government in the history of the province of Saskatchewan. They were put in place for one reason, to preserve the capacity and the access that Saskatchewan residents deserve into their healthcare system.
But for some healthcare workers, the policies announced last week aren't enough, because it could take weeks for those to make an impact, time the province may not have. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Alex Wong is warning that doctors may soon need to triage or decide which patients will receive life-saving care. He's calling for a complete lockdown.
We're looking at several weeks, I think, before we start to flatten, and we're already maxed out, so that's a bad place to be, which is why, unfortunately, we probably need additional measures relatively quickly. Even with additional measures, I'm just not confident at this point that we're going to avoid sort of, again, this ICU triage situation.
Wong says without some kind of lockdown, more people will die. The Premier says he is still counting on vaccinations to make the difference.
And we're seeing our vaccination numbers rise in the last number of days with some of the announcements that were made about 5 days ago.
When asked if he's considering any other measures, the Premier said he's already implemented significant restrictions. The province says it will continue to monitor the situation. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.